Good morning, it's Martin Performance. Before we have a chat about this vehicle, we're going to have a chat about the dyno and how the dyno measures power and also it calculates its losses. Now we run a Maha MSR500 link dyno. We've got 3 retarders on our dyno. We've got 2 retarders on the back axle and with 1 retarder on the front axle. Now the retarders, I don't know if you can see, this is a retarder and they've got a lever off the retarder with a strain gauge in it or a load cell, and that is where it's measured the torque on the load cell as such. And then obviously the dyno calculates the engine power. The Maha is very, very accurate. Repeat after repeat after repeat after repeat. Now, people think it's wheel losses or drivetrain losses. It's actually the complete dyno losses. So from the load cell or strain gauge, should you have it, through the retarder, through all the bearings, through the roller, through the tyre, through the drivetrain. That is the losses. It's not actually transmission losses as such, it's the dyno losses. Now, we have had people, the Maha is very, very transparent. It does show everything on the dyno, unlike a lot of other dynos that don't show the course down. You know, a lot of dynos just show you torque and your brake force figures. It doesn't actually show you the measured power at the strain gauge or the load cell. Doesn't show you that. So obviously with the Maha being very transparent and showing everything, it does get people debating. You know, say, what, you know, it's from it being tuned or from it being standard, there's a difference in the course down. Yeah, some vehicles will differ because obviously the peak power is made in the higher RPM range. So for instance, if a vehicle made peak power at 3,500 and a vehicle made peak power at 4,500, you've got more course down. So obviously you can have a larger increase in that. Now some vehicles, such as this type of vehicle, what's got really thick knobbly tyres on it, and obviously all the drivetrain in this and the 4-wheel drive system and stuff like that, obviously doing one of these cold or not cold with the engine warm and just done a few runs, obviously a lot of things aren't as warm as they would be when you've done 20 runs. So the losses are higher when it's cold than what it would be if you've done 20 runs. But the actual brake force figures, what's calculated from the load cell or the strain gauge, which it is called, is calculated on the dyno. It is absolutely on the money. Yes, you might have 3 brake horse less on the course down of the dyno, not the wheel losses. It's the actual all the dyno where it goes everywhere. Now, yes, you might have 2 to 3 brake horse difference, but yet the brake horsepower, what's calculated through the Maha, is absolutely on the money. So with a Maha being very, very transparent in what it does show, it shows everything on the graph compared to other dynos. You know, it shows, I'll show you actually. You know, it shows the course down, it shows the measured strain gauge power, which is the blue one. Sorry for wobbling phone. So it measures the course down, measures the strain gauge load cell, measured power. People think this is wheel power. It isn't, it's the measured power from the strain gauge. And then it shows the calculated engine power, red one, and then obviously it shows the torque. Yeah, so it does show a lot compared to a lot of other dynos. And then obviously you get the type of person who likes to think he knows possibly more than what he does. Go, oh well, why is, well, they're not a type of person, they're asking a question, aren't they? So I'm really answering the question here with doing this. But some of the people who ask a question, they are asking it in a keyboard warrior style. You know, they'll repetitively go on about it and they'll repetitively make comments on posts. So, they're fudging the dyno graphs because look at the course down, it's different to what it were when they did another run, you know. So this is trying to put to bed that and obviously trying to educate them. But I have tried to explain it in posts before, but you know, sometimes it's like trying to banging your head against the wall with people. So I'm trying to do a video here which will show it. So we'll have a look at this, and we'll also have a look at the dyno settings as well to show it's impossible to fudge a dyno graph on a Maha. It's absolutely impossible. There's no magic button that you can press to increase power. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to anyway. I mean, the numbers are irrelevant to me. It's really irrelevant what the figures it makes. It's more relevant in how the engine's tuned, for the engine being correctly and safely tuned. I'm not interested in whether it makes 2 brake horse on the figures, you know. I'm not bothered if it makes 10 brake horse, you know, as long as the engine's correctly and safely tuned, it's correctly and safely tuned. So, you know, whether it makes 10 brake horse or 1,000 brake horse, it's really irrelevant. The numbers are the numbers. Right, we'll have a look at the dyno graph. I've overlaid this one. So I did this on purpose. I had this vehicle in yesterday and I did a dyno run. And we custom tuned this vehicle, so I tuned it around about 7 times. It kept date logging it, analysing the date log, tweaking the file, putting the file in, and obviously everything was getting warmer and warmer and warmer. So obviously the frictional drag of everything, not just the frictional drag of the losses of the vehicle, but also all the bearings in the dyno, all the retarders, obviously it was getting a lot warmer and warmer. So the course down was getting less. So we can see here we've got, this is the one what was done yesterday, this one here. So we've got a drag of, if you can see there, we've got a drag of 53. Yeah, and we've got a drag of 54.5 there. So you've got a difference of 1.5 brake horsepower losses, you know, and people do make comments on that, and it's nothing, is it really? You know, you can see the line here, it's a little bit different. I don't know whether you can see it, that's the course down. The tuning on it's identical. The tuning on it's absolutely identical. I didn't change it at all. Now you can see on the measured retarder strain gauge load, you can see the thin line and the blue line slightly different, yeah? But yeah, look at the red one. Absolutely bang on the money. This is a calculated brake horse figure. So the calculated brake horse figure, we've got 165.6, we've got 165.4, you know, so that, you couldn't get more repeatability than that. That is absolutely perfect repeatability. But yeah, that shows the difference in the course down of the complete dyno, including all the bearings of the dyno, all the retarders, the strain gauge, all the drivetrain, the tyres, shows everything. You know, yes, there is a difference in the course down, which you would expect from being colder to being absolutely boiling yesterday when I was doing loads and loads of runs. But yet the brake horsepower, it's 0.3, you know, 0.3 brake horse. So it's identical. The repeatability of the Maha dyno is unquestionable. You can't question it because it's so repeatable. It's absolutely on the money. It really is. So this video is to put to bed the people who talk about, you know, it's only a small, well, it's 1 or 2 people who've commented recently. It's to put to bed that. Right, we're going to have a look at the dyno itself now and show you. There's no fudging of the figures anywhere. I can't click on anything and alter anything. Yeah, I can't alter anything. There's no magic buttons anywhere to suddenly want 1 million brake horsepower out of it. Look, yeah, I can't click on anything. These are the options at the bottom. Yeah, there's nothing there to let me bullshit it. It really isn't. This shows the course down of one yesterday, which, yes, it is different, but yet the brake horsepower is identical. It's absolutely identical. Yes, the measured strain gauge is slightly different, which you would expect because obviously yesterday the vehicle was really warm, which we'll explain. But that's just a little bit of a talk about how the dyno operates. And a lot of dynos operate like that, but what a lot of dynos don't do, they don't show on the graph, they don't show the course down, they don't show the measured strain gauge. All they show, I think you can actually, let's see if I can, a curve selection. Yes, so this is what a lot of dyno graphs will show. So yeah, we could make our dyno graphs like everyone else's. So it's, you know, people, you know, only see the brake horsepower and the torque. That's what a lot of graphs show, don't they? They just show the brake horsepower and the torque. There's nothing else in there, you know. A lot of dynos do that because they haven't got the repeatability. The cheaper dynos, they've not got the repeatability, so they don't show the course down. They don't show the measured strain gauge power at all. All they do is they'll show you that. So you'll get a dyno graph like that. Yeah, we've never done that. A lot of dynos don't even have the option to show the course down and various other things, but the Maha is absolutely phenomenal dyno. It's used by a lot of manufacturers to calibrate their vehicles brand new. It's a German built dyno. Yes, it's very, very expensive dyno. All the professional tuners within the tuning industry know that the Maha MSR500 is the dyno to have. If money was no object, you know, everyone would have one. There is a lot cheaper dynos out there, which obviously people on a smaller budget have to buy. But, you know, a lot of them do just show the engine power and the torque, you know, and obviously then that doesn't leave for any debate of people seeing the graph and going, well, how come it's got 4 brake horsepower transmission losses less, or how come it's got 10 brake horse transmission losses more during runs? Yes, you can get higher transmission losses if the peak power is a lot higher. You know, say like we talked about, if the peak power at 3,500 and then we've tuned the vehicle and the peak power's at 4,000, of course you're going to get more losses. But the brake horsepower, which is this, is identical. It's identical. It cannot be fudged. It cannot be magic operated on to make any other number, which is foolish thinking that it would be. And why anyone would want to do that is just laughable, really. You know, we show all our dyno graphs before and after what we do. A vehicle comes into us and we do a base run as it is. Yeah, then we'll carry out DPF regen, software updates and everything like that. Now, it's a true before and after that. It's a true before the customer brought the vehicle to us and after the vehicle leaves us. So it's a true before and after. It's irrelevant that we've done a DPF regen and a software update and then our tuning. You know, that's all the work we've done, so it's a true before and after. But that's a little bit of a look at the Maha MSR500 and what it does show. Like I said, a lot of dynos just show that, but the Maha is very transparent in showing you everything, which is that. And then yes, you know, because of a run yesterday, which I've done 10 runs, and I run this one. I did 2 runs on it this morning. I don't want to just do a run 100% weight code. I got the engine warm, and then I did a half throttle run just to get the drivetrain a little bit warm. Did a steady state on it, and then I did the run. So it was warm, but it wasn't freezing, the drivetrain. You would never do a run like that, but it does show the difference, yeah? We've got I think at most we've got a 2 brake horse difference in transmission losses, because yesterday it was boiling hot. Today it's not as hot, yeah? So anyway, I hope that does help people understand the Maha and how it measures power, and that's how a lot of dynos measure power. They've got a strain gauge, a load cell on the retarder, and that is where it's measured from. It's not measured from there to there. It's impossible to measure it from there to there. There's nothing there. It's measured on the retarder, on the arm, on the strain gauge or the load cell. So I hope this does educate a few people in how dynos work. So thanks for watching. It's Martin at Penal Formers.